Hi everyone, I'm Alex. Thanks for clicking and welcome to this beginner lesson on questions with do and be. This is a very common problem, a very common question that students who are learning English for the first time ask. When do I use be and when do I use do? Especially when I'm asking questions. So first, what I'm going to do is actually just to go through these with you and see what your natural instinct tells you. And afterwards, I'm going to explain the rules which are behind me, and we will explain why, these answers are the answers that we gave. For example, number 1, where you from? Do we say, where are you from, or where do you from? Where are you from? It's one of the most common questions, so you probably knew that one. What are you do? What do you do? What do you do? Not what are you do. Do you want to go? Are you want to go? Okay, do you? How old does he? How old is he? How old is he? Okay. Does she a student? Is she a student? Is she a student? Okay. Do you happy? Or are you happy? Are you happy? Where do you going? Or where are you going? Where are you going? And finally, is he here or does he here? Is he here? Is he here? Okay, so do you notice anything common about some of these questions when we use do and when we use be? The ones with be are a little more complicated, so let's look at the two examples we have with do, and you can tell me what is the same, what is common to these two questions. What do you do? Do you want to go? Number one is an open question, one is a yes or no question, but they still have something in common. Specifically, they both use a verb, do and want. So here you see, what do you do? Base verb, do is a base verb. Do you want to go? Want is a base verb. So this is the basic rule when you're using questions with do or did if you're speaking in the past. If you want to ask a question that uses an action, a base action, always use do or did if you're speaking in the past. Where did you go? What do you do? Who did you see? What do you want? These types of questions where you have an action, a base verb, always use do or did. Now, be can be used in many more situations than do. It's much more versatile in that way. So let's look at the rules. Like I said, for do, you can ask the question word, do or did, plus the subject, plus the base verb. And we can say do is only for actions. Only use it with actions, only with base verbs. Now, be, you have your question, you have the verb to be, which can be am, is, are, was, were, will be even. You have your subject, I, you, he, she, it, we, they. And then you have a number of different parts of speech and functions that you can use. So you can ask a question about age with the verb to be. How old are you? I am, whatever your age is. You can use actions with questions with the verb be, but they can only be continuous actions. So where are you going, right? What are you doing? So you can add verb ing, present continuous. You can ask questions with adjectives. Are you happy? You can ask questions with nouns or jobs, for example. Is he a student? Are you a teacher? I am, you don't say I do, but you would say I am an engineer, for example. And finally, you can use be with prepositions and adverbs. And when I say adverbs and prepositions, sometimes they relate to locations, adverbs specifically. So is he here? And again, here is an adverb and it refers to a space, a location. So you don't say, do you hear or does he hear, but is he here? Are you here? And same with prepositions. So in the first question, where are you from? From is, again, a preposition. So you would use the verb to be in this situation. So let's look at these. We have from, which is a preposition. How old is he? Here we're asking about age. Is she a student? Student is a noun. Are you happy? Happy is an adjective. Where are you going? This is verb plus ing, going. And is he here? Here is an adverb. So I hope this makes it a little more simple for you. Just remember, if it's an action, a basic action, only use the verb do or did for actions. If it's almost anything else, you're going to be using the verb be, okay? If you'd like to test your understanding of how to make questions with the verb do, did, or the verb be, you can always do the quiz on engvid.com. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks, guys, and see you next time.